Welcome back. Time for business now. Emmanuel Riafe Aboaje joins me in the studio. How do you do? Aboaje Riafe.
Yes.
Sorry, I got a bit confused there. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you too?
So what's in business today?
Well, in business, the Ghana Statistical Service has released GDP figures for year-on-year growth rate for 2016 in September.
And what does that reveal?
Well, it's witnessed a marginal growth. The Statistical Service is saying that it's a substantial growth, even though it's a 4% increase in that rate as compared with the previous figures in 2015. Right. So it's kind of a growth in the economy or expansion of the economy. So
well, that's good news.
Yes.
Okay, give us the details.
Thank you, and thanks for joining me on business. The value of goods and services produced in the country for the third quarter of the year has witnessed a significant increase. Figures released by the Statistical Service shows that year-on-year GDP growth rate went up by 4% ending September this year. Deputy Government Statistician Ban Wadie has been explaining to Joy Business what accounted for this current figure. This was after a press briefing where the quarterly GDP estimates were announced.
The main drivers for the growth were from the construction subsector, the transport and storage subsector, information and communication, and public administration. We also recorded growth for the mining and quarrying subsector, and these actually accounted for the growth that we recorded. The year-on-year quarterly growth rates that we've been recording are not very huge. So a growth rate of about 4.0 compared to 3.5 the previous quarter is quite important. Even though we've mentioned generally that mining and quarrying subsector recorded increases, the production of oil from the 10 fields and the repair of the SPSOs also contributed to increases in the oil output, the crude oil output. And these actually accounted for the increase that we are seeing. Apart from that, we mentioned that imports of cement, which is an indicator for activities in the construction sector, also increased. In fact, we recorded over 100% increase in the imports of cement, and that is quite substantial. And these also, so when we look at the general growth for the construction sector, we recorded something in the neighborhood of about 16.3% as compared to the same period last year.
Now, incoming Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has justified his government's decision to reduce the level of taxes paid by businesses in the private sector. The NPP has said it will remove the 17.5% tax on financial services, domestic air tickets, and some imported goods. However, some international institutions like Fitch, as well as some analysts, are warning the move, together with plans to embark on some infrastructural projects, could affect efforts to stabilize the economy if not supported by strong growth. But Dr. Bawumia says these policies can still be implemented if the environment is improved for businesses to grow.
We want to see jobs being created. We really are focused on that. So we look at the business environment, the tax environment. As I said, we are going to move this economy from a focus on taxation that we have seen to a focus on production. Yeah, because it's only when you are producing that you create the jobs. And we want to anchor that with fiscal discipline, with financial discipline as well, so that you can stop this ballooning debt, which is resulting in high interest rates. Our businesses cannot be competitive with other countries if you have to pay over 30% for interest. I mean, how can you compete? So we've got to look at a lot of things, so that we can bring down the cost of doing business and get government out of trying to do everything. Governments are not the best at doing everything. Sometimes you just let the private sector do it, so you save the money to do something else. So we have many things that we are going to try to do, but we fundamentally want to manage the economy with prudence, have a sound framework to do it, and we expect to see transformation. As I said, there are many elements of it. Do your national ID card, which we expect to do the very first year. It will help us a lot.
Now, moving on, transport operators usually experience a boost in businesses, especially around this part of the year, as many people travel to and fro to celebrate the Yuletide. Joy Business has been speaking with the station manager for commercial transport operator VIP Transport Company in Accra, Eric Botry, to find out if anything has changed this year. Kukua Apia reports.
Festive season is normally peak business periods for many businesses, and transport companies are not left out. While international travel surge, domestic travel by road also moves up significantly. The bus terminals are normally busy as people rush to catch a means to various destinations to celebrate the Yuletide. During a visit by Joy Business to the VIP Transport Terminal in Accra, business station manager Eric Botry explained the impact of this festive season on business in the transport sector.
In fact, 2016 we had some serious financial problems that we went through, especially during the election period. This year has been higher than the previous years. I think starting from last week, Friday, in fact, we started experiencing higher number of movement. So it's higher, at least about maybe 40% higher than that of last year. One, in fact, we have more non-working days in this Christmas. So a lot of people, especially workers, they travel a lot.
He said although businesses had slowed down in the past 2 days, it is expected to pick up again right after the New Year holidays end.
Normally it slows down, but getting to the New Year, and I'm sure this New Year we have also 2 more holidays. I'm sure by Friday the movement will be higher.
Away from that, former CEO of Cocoa Board, Isaac Osei, is promising better times ahead for the cocoa sector as the NPP government takes over from January 7. Mr. Osei, who is also the MP for Subing in the Ashanti region, says mismanagement of the sector have, over the last 8 years, led to the decline in cocoa production ever since it hit 1 million tons in 2008. He says the good times the sector witnessed will, however, return.
Cocoa has been the lifeblood of our country for many years. It was during the time of the NPP, when I happened to be chief executive, that we set the target of 1 million tons over a 3-year period. Fortunately, we reached that target. We were not at that time in power, but I would have thought that since we had shown the way to do it, the administration of Cocoa Board did not have to reinvent the wheel. As it is now, it looks like there's a gradual decline over the last 3 years in production, and I believe in productivity as well. So there are all kinds of productivity enhancing schemes which will help Cocoa Board. There are ways which Cocoa Board has developed over the years for the management and control of diseases and pests. Trade logistics infrastructure from my time have been provided. There's no reason why the cocoa industry should fail. And I believe that under Nana Akufo-Addo, he will put together a team of competent people to run Cocoa Board and to work with the farmers of our country to increase productivity. And I think that is the crux of the matter.
And that's it for business. Many thanks for watching. For more business items, log on to myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji Riafi. There's more stories ahead. Don't go away.